Hello everybody and welcome to Dynamic GT League's Radical Series for Race 2 from Monza. Joining us on commentary is Ray. I hope you're well today, Ray.
Yeah, I'm doing not too bad. As
Good.
you see, Steve F1 3 points ahead of SGP. He was leading the last championship at the start of the season. Is he going to keep it all the way through?
Well, we will find out after all of the races, I'm sure. Now, I mean, what will be interesting is how Steve F1
Keeps it up there.
Well, yeah, keeps it up, but also bounces back from losing the last championship on the last corner of the last race. As for the starting lineup, though, here at Monza, in a slightly gloomy Monza, we've got SGP on pole position, Demon R with a change of livery to try and avoid looking like anybody else, but now he looks like Critical, so Demon R second place. Steve F1 in third. We did have Jason in fourth, but unfortunately he had massive lag, so he's not been able to race. So now we have Art Pal in fourth, right?
Yeah, and then we've got plain Nelly and fifth there, just plain blue in his car this time. And then we got SRI back, he's in six.
Yep.
I forgot. Six.
Then we've got Demon R in eighth.
Yeah, Demon R in eighth again. And then we've got Nelly again and
yeah. According to Steve F1, so nice to see Bob back, and then Rich taking up the final spot. Fortunately, Twilight still hasn't got into
say something else.
Well, I was, but we're at 4 lines, 5 lines. Away they go, and the STP's had a good start. Demon R tucks into the slipstream. Steve F1 does. So does Art Pal. Nelly, he's having a little look around the outside. Is anybody going to... Yes, Art Pal is going to try and go around the outside. So is Demon R. Steer out SGP, Steve F1, SRI and Nelly get through this first chicane side by side. The leaders go. Oh, Steve F1 nearly tagged the back of SGP. But Demon even looks like they're going in slow motion out of that corner, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a wee bit of, a wee bit of bumper cars there, I think. Not intentionally, just accidental, as they're really wide in the background.
Yeah.
But we're coming into the second chicane.
Whoa!
Steve
F1 wants a bit of that silver car. So Steve F1 loses the position. And I mean, Demon R and SGP were side by side going into the chicane. Looked like Demon R backed out of it. I'm wondering if Steve F1 may have just dipped a wheel on the grass when braking, you know, Ray, and sent him sideways into Demon R. Has lost him a place as Critical and Rich Blues battling quite hard on at the pack cam in the background there, as Bob has lost a bit of ground on this opening lap.
Sliding round the corner. The SGP's leading the way so far. And see, as we come up to Ascari, is he going to keep there, or is he going to lose his line? It looks nice and tidy at the moment.
It is there, but SRI and Nelly got tangled up a little bit. They've lost a bit of ground. Critical trying to make a move. Steve F1 all over the back of Art Pal. So the field has spread out a little bit on this opening lap. I wonder if maybe Demon R sort of bump drafted SGP here to open that gap a bit. Steve F1 doing similar with Art Pal to try and close that gap a bit, as Critical having a look up the inside of SRI, understeering wide, and Rich Blues trying to do a double switch back. Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, we don't want to be over there, or there, or there, or there, or there. Oh dear.
He went from the inside to the outside in the flash.
That he did. Okay, Steve F1 have a look at trying to make a move on Art Pal here. Demon R definitely is pumped after SGP, but not now. As soon as I say that, he's now looking at trying to make the move into turn 1. Side by side they go. Got to give each other plenty of room here. It's not always easy to do. Steve F1 makes that move in the background as Critical gets wobbly on Le Pack Cam.
Yeah, and look at Art Pal hanging there with Steve F1. That's an improvement. It's
Well, it depends if Steve F1 drives away and Art Pal drops off. Oh, SGP having a look up the inside. not quite close enough. I was a bit like Crofty then, wasn't I? Getting excited over nothing. Demon R was all out of shape through the chicane though, and SGP is now trying to make the move. So it was a dummy to get him out of line, and SGP goes through into the lead of the race, or doesn't he? They're still side by side. And here comes Steve F1 hunting, but there's nowhere to go. Side by side through the second Lesmo. And that's the gravel!
That's a gravel. Hopefully he doesn't spin it. He keeps it straight. He's kept it straight.
Right, that he has. Dropped him down to 8th.
Look how quick Steve F1's caught SGP now because of them fighting there and Demon R going off.
Absolutely.
He's all over the back of him.
He is. On the pack cam, we've got Bob behind SRI, who's just behind. Oh, Nelly! I only just saw that on. I think it was on the pack cam. I saw it big.
No, it's big screen.
Was it? Okay. SRI got a little bit squiggly on the exit of Ascari as well. I do know in practice Nelly was struggling a little bit with the Ascari chicane. Unfortunately, it's one of those, if you take too much curb on the right hand side, it will just spin you around, and if you take too much curb on the final left bit, it'll spin you around, and if you run wide on the final bit, it could spin you around. Okay, so battle going on here. Demon R trying to regain some positions. Do you want to remind everybody, Ray, about the pit situation?
Yep, you cannot pit until the lap 4. So it's the end of lap 4?
No.
It would be?
Yes,
no,
sorry.
No,
it is. It's end of lap 4. You have to be.
Yeah.
You have to have started lap 4 before you can enter the pits. Demon R and Bob battling here. Bob took him back in. Critical. No, he's not. He's having a look up the inside. Is he going to be able to slow it down? Ooh, he did. Demon R gone round the outside of him.
I think because Bob was that hard on the brakes and making sure he didn't touch critical, he wanted to stay as close to that first apex as possible, and Demon R seen a bit of a gap and went for it.
So what you're saying is Bob had a bit of a hard on and he nearly touched critical with it?
Yeah.
Okay. I think Demon R also tagged the wall there at the first last round.
I heard he's a bit like Rich Blues. He can walk into a wall with a hard on and still break his nose.
Yeah. I'm saying nothing. Okay, I'm going to stay quiet for a moment as Demon R and Bob still battling it out. Now, I don't know if you're aware of this, Ray, but still battling it out. Bob was actually able to get into, sorry, I've got my shoelace trapped in my chair for the second time today. It's wrapped around the bloody wheel. Just talk to yourself for a minute.
Just for a minute, I do that every day.
Well,
it's critical coming on the back of Bob, but Demon R, does Demon R push down the start finish straight? Is he's going for Bob at the minute? No, he's not. What's he doing? He's going from side to side. Oh, he's going to try and go free wide? No. He's got critical. Is he getting him? Critical's giving him enough room, just enough. Demon R's going to able to get on the accelerator that wee bit earlier. Like he might have a chance. Oh no, Demon R's got a bit. Where did he get penalty from?
Oh! Did Critical give him enough room?
Oh, I don't know. It looked like enough room on the camera angle we've seen, so...
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Let me ask Demon R. Alright, Demon R, how did you get your penalty?
I don't really know. Because I weren't looking. I was sorting my shoes out. That's alright, trying to make a move at our pal. Go on.
I think he's just putting his nose out there to scare him.
It could well be. 3 wide in the background. Critical Demon R. Nose to tail. Bob backed out of that. Nice to see. If Bob had kept in there, that would have made it very difficult. It's hard enough to go 2 wide through the Lesmo, to make it 3 wide, very difficult. And something that we could talk about that after the race, Ray, if you remember. making it 3 wide, but also a bit of a joke about last week. I still actually, you know, I did listen to the commentary while it was being played. I don't know if it was, you know. Oh, is that Demon R with a 1 second penalty?
Must have been.
Wow.
Yeah, he's lost a lot of ground for just half a second.
That he has. Okay, we are on
Yeah,
lap.
it was the brakes, because I remembered that it's like, because I said, like, it looks like people are on the brakes and then off and then back on. And
Yes.
you said,
yes, that's correct. See if you can remember that at the end. By the way, we have got one in the pits, Art Pal. So lap 4, he has got into the pit, starting lap 5. With the tyres around here, Ray, is Demon R having another look up the inside? Well, is he having a look? He's all the way over the other side of the ruddy road. It's almost like a replay of the last lap.
Yep. Oh, he's like, you gave me a penalty last time. I'm giving you a wee hit in the side here.
Well, I mean, okay, it's an interesting. If Demon R did get the penalty there, I mean, I genuinely was not looking, so I don't know what the situation was, as Bob and Critical now side by side. But it would be an interesting one if Demon R did get a penalty for being further off the track than the game would allow. Demon R's got a bit of a run here on Bob. No, he hasn't. He's going sideways.
Yeah, Demon R's been sideways a couple of times now. Is his tyres going? We can see Critical's tyres, but we can't see Demon R's as he's trying to go round the outside of the Wesmo. It's dangerous.
It's definitely dangerous, considering when he tried that in the second lap of the race, he ended up deep in the gravel. Okay, Rich Blues and Nelly now right on the back of this gaggle of cars. Should mention as well that let's see, Demon R would be the first car with boost, but with it being this close to Critical, he won't get any boost. Neither will Bob, Nelly or Rich Blues now that they have caught. Nelly will, because he's in the gravel. Oh, whoa, wow, we've got cars all over the place.
Nelly, Bob and Critical wide.
Be careful how you say that, because it nearly sounded like you said Nelly, Borbag and Critical. When did you say Bob and? It sounds like Bob and. Okay, we've got SDP heading to the pits. Steve F1.
Steve F1's continue.
Well,
SRI.
Looking at the tyres of these now front 3 and Rich don't look too bad. Critical's tyres don't look too bad either. Neither do Bob. So it'll be interesting to see where Arpal gets it. He pitted the lap before. Nelly's heading into the pits now. Yes, Arpal's got fresher tyres. May get a jump here. Will he get a jump on SGP? I don't think so, because SGP is already out of the pits.
Yep. He must have not took fuel then.
Maybe. Steve F1 hasn't taken fuel. Do you know why?
Because he's not pitted yet.
Exactly. I was about to say Steve F1 hadn't taken fuel either, and then realised he hadn't pitted. Okay, so it looks like Demon R may be closing in a little bit now on SRI and Steve F1.
The curb just unsettling the car a wee bit there.
Now the viewers may see that the rear left tyre is the one that is suffering a little bit round here, and something we talked about last week, Ray, about trying to use a higher gear through the corners. It will massively help with stability around a track like this. So if we start seeing drivers getting a bit sideways around corners when there isn't really anybody else around them, then it could be a factor. SGP, if he did take fuel, it was a very, very small amount. I genuinely don't think he hasn't taken fuel, you know?
It's very, very little. It's like, I think you're just before halfway in the fuel tank after 5 to 7 laps. I don't know. So, yeah, I don't know if he has actually.
If we get to see one of the front runners, a bit windy, we'll be able to compare. Okay, SGP trying to go around the outside of Bob. Must admit, yeah, so something I was trying to say a few moments ago was, oh, it looks like Rich's going for the pits, is that Bob, yeah, he was able to attend the circuit 40 minutes before the start of the race. Would you like to know how much practice he got in?
2 laps.
Well, a bit more than that. He spent 20 minutes painting his car. And considering...
Why hadn't he done his livery?
He hadn't done his livery. But I could understand 20 minutes if it had a bit of detail on it. But it's literally green with Bob on and a Welsh flag. That's it. Okay.
But it was getting the precise locations, measuring it, you know, getting the ruler out of the TV, making sure inside.
Yeah, okay. Arpal's in a good position here. He's getting boost now, so he should be able to catch Bob fairly quickly. Bob's tyres are going to be struggling. I don't think Bob has pitted yet. Regarding the tyres, a little bit like last week, you can do 7 laps. You don't want to do 8. So far, we've had Arpal pit on lap 4, which would leave him 16 laps. SGP's pitted on lap 5, which would leave him 15 laps. Oh, Bob, a little squirrely, and Arpal gets the run. Will have a good chance of making this move. Critical will be right on him as well. Yeah, so SGP's got 15 laps, so he could be doing 5 lap stints, which might not be a bad idea, Ray, given the tyres. I mean, it's why do 7 laps when you could do 5 really quick ones?
It also depends on... It depends if there's an incident or something as well.
Yeah. Well,
and how much traffic he's got to get through.
Yeah. Well, critical, I think Bob's gone to the inside, backs out of it. I think Bob's going to be heading to the pit lane. Demon Art is heading. Steve F1 is in the pits. Critical has pitted. I don't think he's taken fuel on, so we'll be in a similar fuel situation to SGP as these three continue on. Yeah, so once again, we've got very different strategies. We've got a stopper on lap 4, a stopper on lap 5, a couple of stoppers on lap 6, and now 3 stoppers on lap 7. By pitting lap 7, what would that leave? 13 laps? So you could do a 7 and a 6. And if you pitted on the end of lap 6, you can do a 7 and a 7. So, yeah, I think no matter how much this may get spread out, it's going to close up again.
One's filled up fully. Demon R's went to 96%, so is he trying to jump Steve F1? I don't know who else was in the pits.
Well, I mean, it's interesting you mentioned. I don't think he may have been trying to jump Steve F1, but as we've seen with SGP, if he didn't need to put fuel in, that means he can do at least another 5 laps on his fuel. Critical deep into the gravel at the first Lesmo. Oh, and it's spinning him around now as well. Oh, that's painful for him. Yeah, it may be a situation of, like, you don't need a full tank of fuel to do the stint, do you? So you can play about a bit with how much fuel you may or may not put in, because you are going to need to put some in at some point, aren't you, to be able to get to the end of the race. But it's not like you're going to have to fill it up every time you go in the pits. So yeah, maybe Demon are just trying to close that gap a little bit. We're going to 96%. Nelly here, closing in on the back of SRI. Nelly with the boost. A bit more wear on his rear left tyre there though, Ray. Let's see if he can get through Ascari. Oh, he's a bit wide. Oh, he's a bit wider. He's facing the right way, that's alright.
Yeah, he's just, it might be just his line through there. He's having difficulty of
you know what?
the different turns and
Yeah.
maybe carrying maybe that little bit more speed.
I think you might be absolutely right, you know, because although it's 3 corners, you have to treat it as one. So the speed you go through the first one dictates the speed through the second one, and if you are a little too fast, you're going to be wide heading to the third one, and that's like you're going to be too far over to the left before you turn in. Then you're going to need to turn sharper. So Ascari is definitely all down to get it slowed down enough for that first one, so that you can then power through the second 2 corners, as this now closing right in. All behind Nelly, as SGP is still leading this race. Artpal in second place. Critical in third. So even though Critical had his spin in the gravel, he's still in third.
Yeah, and he has pitted, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. Yep. Okay, so
Well, if he could do 9 laps in the tyres, then I'd be asking myself questions.
have you seen what's just happened there? Steve F1 trying to make the move on Nelly. Demon R bump drafted Nelly to get him back up alongside Steve F1 before the corner. Demon R now bump drafted Steve F1.
Keep them side by side.
Keeping them side by side. Bump drafts Nelly right in the last moment. I mean,
not bad dirty tactics. Look at that, he's gone for it in Steve F1.
Can't get it done though. Now, are we going to see the same thing happen? Oh, Critical. I think Critical's had a moment on the second Lesmo. Demon R is now slipstreaming Steve F1, and Nelly has dropped back a little bit. Is Steve looking to attack? No, I think he's looking to defend. Come on, Nelly, get through this corner without. Oh, he's up the inside a bit there. Critical, holy daisy, Missy, where's he? I don't know what that means, but there we go.
Now Nelly and Demon R side by side, so Steve F1's got a little bit of gap there now, so
I think they had to lift out to miss Critical, you know. That was me moving Nelly, not constipated.
Demon R got the switch back there, but Nelly's coming back. Now, what does Steve F1 do? Who does he give the slipstream to? And then he doesn't want to lose his. He doesn't want to lose his slipstream to SRI as well.
That is true.
So,
Nelly coming on the inside there. I mean, that's the thing. If you've got 2 cars behind you side by side, it is a good idea to share the slipstream between the 2 of them, so neither one can gain on you more than the other. Demon R and Nelly side by side once again. I'll tell you what's interesting so far about this race is, like, things are getting spread out, but there's still like one little battle going on, and it's kind of been doing that over the course of the race, hasn't it? We'll see how it goes for the remainders. Artpout still there in second place.
Steve F1 bouncing on that curb, Nelly hitting the gravel, it slowed him down a wee bit there, and it's released Demon R. Demon R try and get on the back of Steve F1.
Yeah, well, the benefit for Demon R and Nelly is if they drop a second behind Steve F1, they'll get the boost. I think they might be within that second though. But this is where, a bit like we talked last week, if Nelly starts attacking Demon R, then Demon R won't be able to attack Steve F1, but Demon R is already attacking Steve F1. He's up alongside an SRI, trying to give Steve F1 the slipstream, but Demon R is already ahead. Okay, so as they head into Ascari, where they very nearly annihilated Critical in the previous lap. Oh, Demon R looks a little wobbly there. They're all
Nelly's sideways.
Steve F1 was sideways as well. Okay, SGP is into the pit, so he's done 2 5-lap stints, and he definitely will need to put some fuel in now. Okay, so Artpow is going to take the lead of the race unless he pits as well as Steve F1 goes a little deep into the Parabolica.
Is Nelly looking to pit? I think Nelly's looking to pit. He's very tight on that line. Oh, Demon R, Jesus Christ.
Superstar. Okay, so yeah, that was, I wouldn't say a late entry, but it was a very late entry. Okay, we've got Bob on the back of Rich Blues now, closing in on the back of Steve F1. And interestingly, Ray, SGP now out of the pits in 5th place. He will get the boost. His strategy is working at the minute, you know. Doing a 5-lap stints, he's going to have to do an extra pit stop compared to some. But he's come out with boost, and he's going to get a whole lap here, and it's just going to benefit him massively. Oh.
Yeah, it's weird Steve F1 and SRI pit, because they done, what was it, 6 and 7 lap?
Yeah.
Or 6 and 8.
It was 6 and 7, or Nelly. Oh no, sorry, it's Bob in it. Yeah. Bob and Rich were side by side, they managed to get through. Yeah, it was 7 and 6, or 6 and 7. Demon R though did 7, and he's just pitted on 10, so he's just on a 3-lap stint. I'm wondering if that's maybe switching to SGP's strategy. Art Pal pitted 4 laps, that's then done 6 laps. Now we can do 2 5-lap stints. Okay, yeah, and there is SGP closing in already. Okay, while it's a little bit spread out, Ray, I would like to say, I mean, I would like to bet, but I'm not going to bet because I think it'd be a bit unfair, really, especially if I lose. But I reckon I could tell you. Oh, Bob! That's not what I can tell you. I reckon
You could tell me a bob or two.
Yeah. I reckon. Oh my God! Holy cow!
Jesus. Who's that? That's Demon R.
Yeah, it's Demon R. Oh dear. Oh, and Bob's slow. Oh, I think Demon R maybe had to take avoided action from Bob there. Demon R's got a penalty as well. Although I am hearing it's not from that situation.
SRI, these tyres are okay. Could do a lap or 2 more.
Steve F1 has closed right in on him over the course of this last lap. I mean, look at the tyres. Yeah, I mean, he could do one more lap. He could do a 7-lap stint to the end. SGP, though, I mean, he's very close, but obviously the front 3 here have still got 1 more pit stop to do each. But SGP is in the stronger position at the moment with the fresher tyres. Okay, and what I was trying to say to you is that I reckon I can tell you a joke you've never heard before.
Okay.
A sign language joke.
I'm not supposed to get a sign language joke.
But you can't hear it, can you?
No.
No. And you'll have never heard it before either. Yeah? Okay. On at the pack cab, we've got Nelly hunting down Art Pal, and that's Nelly in 5th with Art Pal in 4th. So yeah, SGP got that. Well, SGP, Art Pal, Nelly, Demon R, and Bob all got that sort of lap of boost, didn't they? Whereas now it's only sort of Nelly, Demon R, Bob, Rich Blues, and Critical that will be getting in. Let's see how SRI is getting on through the Ascari chicane. Looking fairly stable actually with that level of tyre wear there.
And I'll be interested to see how SGP closes up without the boost.
Well, yeah,
because remember, he's not got it anymore, so is it going to be, how much is it going to gain?
Well, that's a good point, because the level of tyre wear that SRI and Steve F1 currently have, as Demon R is attacking Nelly down the back straight here. Yeah, the level of tyre wear that the leaders have got compared to SGP will give quite a considerable lap time deficit to SGP. I mean, it could be a couple of seconds, so if you can catch a couple of seconds a lap. But they're saying that his difficulty rate would be if he's on the 5-lap stints, or as Art Pal shares the slipstream. This is exactly what we were on about a little while ago. Demon R looked like he was going to have the move done, but Art Pal shares. Bish bosh. Pinball Nelly. Okay, Bob.
He's a pinball wizard.
Well, I'm sorry, I heard a different W word. Okay, right, I better behave myself.
Oh, look at the back in the mirror, you can just see Steve F1.
Lurking. I was going to say like a pervert in the night, but...
it's like Mr. Burnson that's sitting in his chair going, I'm waiting for you.
Okay, so Art Pal still holding on here. And Bob, while we've been making a bit of a joke there, has got past Demon R.
I thought Steve F1 was going for the move. He was getting very close to SRI.
Well, so yeah, so what I was going to say a moment ago was SGP doing the 5-lap stints. If the 2 leaders pit this lap, they're going to get a big boost over SGP. So This is definitely not a sure thing for anybody at the moment. Okay,
Steve F1 bombing SRI up the. I don't know where we are. Are we going to Parabolica? I think we are.
Yep, we're headed towards the Parabolica. So Steve F1 going all the way around the outside. What a move!
Yeah, it's got eyes button. He's held it tight.
Yes, he is. You were on
actually, look how much SGP has closed it. There he's there.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. So that's the tyre delta for you. Also, I mean, he has been quick around this track as on the pack cam. We've got Demon R, Bob, Art Pal, and Nelly. Nelly's got a head of Art Pal. I don't remember seeing that. Demon R's in the pits.
I thought he was doing 5 laps then, so it would have been to 50.
Oh, hey.
Is he trying to undercut SGP?
I think it may be. Maybe it's. Wow. I mean, he had that incident where there was the moment with Bob, wasn't there? So I don't know whether that may have damaged the tyres. I mean, maybe it was a switch of strategy to SGP's strategy, and then with that moment off, switching back. I mean, something we talked about last week is Art Pal's got a great run here on Nelly. Is he going to have a look at the inside? He is a little bit. Oh, that reminds me, actually. Yes, something I can confirm with you. We talked a little bit last week about where Nelly's radar might be. He does have the radar on, but for him to see it, he basically has to look in the left-hand mirror.
The left-hand mirror?
The left-hand mirror.
That's other fun.
Yeah,
when we look at the right-hand side of the screen.
Yep, he basically, for him to see his radar, he has to be looking at his left-hand mirror, and if he's looking at his left-hand mirror, he can't see hardly anything going straight. SGP's all over Steve F1. Oh, this is very interesting.
I think there's a way to sort that out, and maybe I'll just try some digging, because
the thing is, it's different in every car. Okay, SGP's got the move done. We've got hopefully we haven't lost anybody.
No, I'm fine.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so SGP's going for the pits. Steve, okay. Wow. Go on.
So they're going to pit same time. SGP doesn't really need to fill much.
No, it's literally going to be hardly any fuel at all. He's not taking any tyres.
What's he doing? Is he alright?
I'm hearing the technical term for what he's doing is making a boo-boo. Okay, so...
at that moment, he fucked up.
Yeah. Okay, so... That's kind of really scooched things up a little bit. So Nelly's now leading the race. SGP is right behind him. SGP may have the fuel to get to the end, but he definitely hasn't got the tyres to get to the end. He's got to go back in the pits and get some tyres right. And the best thing he can do is do it right now. The only upside for him is that he's got plenty of tyres and he's got the pace. So, I mean, but there's SRI. So SRI hasn't jumped SGP. But SGP's going to have to pit again. Steve F1 is only just ahead of Demon R, so Demon R hasn't jumped Steve F1. Oh, Nelly! He hasn't jumped the curb.
Oh, he's having a bummer with that car. That's track.
He is, and that's something we can talk about afterwards as well. But yeah, so okay, so what? Now, for the viewers who may be wondering, how the hell has SGP made the mistake of not taking tyres? Unfortunately, it's very, very easily done.
Oh no, it wasn't. It was under pressure.
Yeah, it crumbled. Hey,
it crumbled like the cookie. That's how the cookie crumbles.
Demon R going for the move here on Steve. Hey, you know what? If Steve F1 is in with a chance of winning this race, that means Demon R isn't he? So Demon R...
That's alright, because
he's ahead.
He's pitted as well.
Well, let's see. So Demon R pitted with Demon Art and SRI pitted with 7 laps to go, didn't they? As
No,
SGP
no,
and Nelly.
Steve F1 and Demon R pitted the same with 6 laps to go, did they not?
No, they didn't.
Yeah. You didn't pit with me, you pitted with Steve F1, 6 laps to go.
No, SGP did. Okay, side by side, you're confused now, aren't you? Side by side through the first corner, Steve F1 retakes the position, and this is quite crucial for Steve F1.
You pitted in lap 14?
Nope. Demon R pitted, end of lap 13, to do a 7-lap stint to the end. I'm pretty sure SRI pitted at the same time. SGP and Steve F1 pitted with 6 laps to go. So they're on a 6-lap stint. Demon R having a look up the inside of Steve F1. Side by side they go, and in the background we've got Rich Blues battling with Arpal. Still side by side. Steve F1, no, he tucks in behind. For Steve F1 though. Okay, so SRI and Demon R are on 7-lap stint, which means Steve F1 has got 1 lap fresher tyres. He doesn't need to go pushing too much right now, does he? Because the tyres of the cars ahead will go off a bit and benefit Steve F1. SGP there with his fresh tyres, but he's a long way back now. Well, actually, he isn't a long way back, is he? And he's got boost and very fresh tyres. Okay. Right. So, SRI then, leading the race. Not often I'm able to say that on commentary, at least not for the last couple of championships.
What happened when I came back for one race last season?
You nearly ruined the championships. No, to be fair. You did.
I fucking wonder.
You did extremely well. I can't tell you what though, Demon R is closing in on the back of SRI here, and as I mentioned, Steve F1 doesn't need to go doing anything risky. We saw in the opening laps of the race, didn't we? He was kind of tucked up behind Demon R and SGP, and when they battled and fought and lost time was when he capitalised. SGP now in 5th place, so still got the boost. He's going for a Danny Ricciardo down into 1. Arpal sees it, gives plenty of space. Yeah, gives plenty of space. SGP with the fresher tyres, though, I think will be able to get this move done. And I tell you what, I think the front 3 are going to be a little...
Arpal went to tuck in and SGP was still there.
SGP still had his arm. SRI got a little bit wobbly, got a little bit wide. Even though side by side they go now. This is exactly what Steve F1 will be hoping for. Have them be slowed down in the corners as they battle side by side. Can they get through the second Lesmo?
SRI just came towards the minute. Oh, there's a wee bit of contact as well.
And there goes Steve F1. That's exactly what we were on about a moment ago, wasn't it? Just biding his time. And then SVP's right there.
SRI did to slipstream. There must have been some confrontation going on.
Or maybe he thought he had pushed Demon Art wide as Nelly makes a move on Arpal now. Nelly's got fresher tyres than Arpal. So maybe Nelly can get some moves done. But what I want to mention, Ray, I mean, when Steve F1 and SRI were sort of doing their 7-lap stint or whatever it was, SGP's lap times must have been so much better in those last 2 laps because of the gap he closed in. We're going to have a similar situation here, aren't we? SGP's going to be able to pump in some lap times now.
Yeah, with that tyre deficit.
Yeah. Arpal's just made a move on Nelly through into the Parabolica. They're now side by side. SGP giving neither of them the slipstream. Oh! I think even I just tried to tuck up at SRI's bumhole. Oh dear. All side by side.
Look, plenty of space given to each one.
Yep, Demon Art now gets ahead. Okay, so we're on lap 18. We've got 3 laps to go. SGP hasn't closed that gap up massively just yet. Art Pal though, Critical's got past Art Pal, so Art Pal may be struggling a little bit with the tyres. SRI closing back in on Demon R. Steve F1, I mean, he's opened the gap up a little bit, hasn't he? So maybe, oh look at the pack cam, side by side through the chicane. Nelly and Critical, they get through and survive. That'll give Art Pal an opportunity to close back in. Maybe get swept back in. Oh. Free bit, boys.
Don't go outside. Outside doesn't work.
Oh! You commentated cursed him, right? Massive.
But how many times have we seen it this race?
Well, yeah. And how many times have we seen that happen at Monza as well? You get a little bit wide, dip half a wheel on that AstroTurf and can so easily get sent around. Okay.
Oh, Demon R's bouncing. He's wide. He's wide.
Yeah. He's also tall, but Nelly!
Oh, Nelly's gone.
I think Nelly's crashed at all three parts of the Escort chicane in this race. But very easy.
The start, the middle, and then.
Demon R's closed in on Steve F1 over the course of this lap. SRI still. Oh, yeah, I think the tyres are starting to struggle. Oh, hang on, no. Demon R went wide, didn't he?
Yeah, he's got dirty tyres.
Yeah, and all of that would have helped SGP close the
It's actually
gap
helping Steve F1 as well.
It is,
because now the lesser of the two is in front.
Let's Steve F1 clobbered the sausage. That is alright there. Critical closed in on the back of SGP now. Will obviously aided with the boost to close that gap. Be interesting to see if he can close any more as Richard Nelly through the final chicane. So Demon R's got a bit of a run here, but I don't know if it'd be wise to attack SRI now. Would it be better bump drafting and closing? Well, don't bump draft in the middle of the corner.
Demon has got sideways again.
Yeah, Bob on the pack cam, and we can see there making the move on Critical. Critical got a little wobbly on the exit of the chicanes. And SGP, he's closed that gap in. Oh, he's not far away from getting slipstream, I can tell you that. Okay, so yeah, I think the wise thing to do here for Demon R is bump draft SRI, get them both closer to Steve F1, sorry, because if they battle, SGP's on them, and at the end of this lap, there's only going to be one more lap to go.
Yeah, I see how SRI's trying to handle the pressure here. He's got, I don't know how many fucking. Oh, he's wide! He's wide! Wow! Oh dear!
Well, so much for bump drafting him closer to Steve F1. SRI's just slid himself further away from Steve F1. Okay, maybe it'd be a good idea for SRI to bump draft Demon R. No, he's going for the move!
No, he's going for it!
Up the inside they go. And, as we said, if these two battle, SGP is going to be there. And now he is there. And he's still bringing the pack. Demon R's tyres are struggling. SRI's got a little bit more left on his left. SGP's on SRI though. Who's Demon R going to give the slipstream to?
Don't know, you can't see.
He's
He's coming into SRI. But SGP's ahead. Yeah. Oh, SRI's late on the brakes, He's
side by side. Oh, Art Pal's got a bit out of shape as well. He was side by side with Critical heading into the first corners there. Steve F1 has opened that gap up. SGP now ahead of SRI. He's got a lap to see if he can catch the two ahead as Art Pal, Critical and Bob battling once again.
Has SRI got enough in the tank to stay ahead of this pack?
With a slide like that. Oh, here comes Critical. Critical's got much fresher tyres. His light's flashing, but that should be okay. It's not a fuel sensitive circuit, this, as long as it wasn't flashing. Oh, Nelly up the inside of Art Pal. No, Fitzbenarovic tucks in just ahead of Bob, but now he's actually gone wide on the back gap. Nelly's gone wide, dropped behind Bob, and now Critical's got the run on SRI here.
SRI wants to try and keep within the slipstream of SJP, and he's going to have to defend, so he's going to have to be smart where he places his car here.
That he is. Hey, yeah, I'm looking
No,
on
he's
the...
got penny.
Yeah,
He's got
I've
penny.
just seen on the pack cam.
Yeah, yeah,
SRI's got a penalty. Oh, and Arpal's big spinner at the Ascari chicane. Okay, Steve F1, can he hold on? Can Demon R close in? SRI serving his penalty. He's going to lose places, surely. Yes, he is. And don't call it, surely. Steve F1 holds on, does he? Demon R sliding. SVP's closing in, but it's not going to be enough. Steve F... Or is it? Steve F1's going to take the victory. SVP's ahead. We didn't see it, but he's ahead and he's got some points. Oh, yes, all right, did lose out of position to critical. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, I wonder where that penalty come from.
Yeah.
Arpal with we'll go on.
Maybe you could tell in a later video.
Well, maybe I could partly tell in a moment. Okay. Oh, well, what a race. Well, say well done to Steve F1 there. I would say that, I mean, for SGP, I think if he hadn't made that error of not changing his tyres, I think he's won by a mile. I mean, I could have been wrong. Obviously, there'd been a bit of a gap between himself and Steve F1 when they come out of the pits. But SGP definitely seemed to have the pace today, shown by the end there, being able to close that gap up. So yeah, absolutely brilliant racing. But yeah, I mean, I don't even know what else to say about that.
That was phenomenal. I can't get my words. I can't say that word actually.
Is that what you say to Kirsty? That was phenomenal. Or is it? Yeah. That was phenomenal. Okay. But yeah, it was a very exciting race. Okay, there was 3 things that we wanted to talk about after the race. Okay, one of them was about last week, which was talking about Nelly, which was to do with the braking. One of the things I have seen in a bit of the practice and in the races is some drivers, and Nelly has been one of them. I don't know if he's done it in this race as much, but in this car, if you brake when the brake indicator starts flashing, it's too late. You can slow down and make the corner, but you'll make it a bit slower than you really want to. For Nelly though, he just doesn't get a brake flash indicator, or if he does, it's probably not easy to see. But with this car, I genuinely do think you're better off braking earlier. Brake earlier, stay on the brakes a bit longer, get the car slowed down so it can get a good turn in that higher gear. By doing that, you'll have a lot more stability, but also you won't have to steer as much. And I think that's what may have caught Nelly out at the Ascari chicanes today. So as he's approaching the chicane, perhaps braking at the bridge or just after the bridge or the advertisement over the road, you can brake there, get it slowed down to make the first left-hander, but you're going a bit quicker, which sends you a bit further over to the right, which then means you're either using a lot of the curb on the right, and that's going to spin you, or you end up going towards the left before the third part of the corner, which then makes the final part a lot tighter, and you either hit the curb, bounce, spin, or end up running wide, spin, or end up steering so much that as you sort of go out towards the curb astroturf, and that can spin you. So I would highly recommend the drivers try and get this right. If it's a second gear corner, I need to take it in third gear. It will help your traction, tyre wear, it will also help stop you spinning. It's easier said than done, I know, but that was one of the things that I wanted to mention. But also, you mentioned last week about Nelly seemed to be on the brakes, off the brakes, and then on the brakes again. In a race car, that can be a very, very effective way of braking. In this car, though, you are much better off lifting, coasting, and braking because it's on road tyres. If it was on race tyres, just slam the anchors on, it's not a problem. But if you lift and coast, that little bit of engine braking will help you massively. It's a lot easier to slow the car down, and that is something that Critical found beneficial throughout this race. He was struggling with the car getting twitchy, realised if he lifted and coasted and then braked, his braking stability was a lot better, and that's what it's sort of all down to. So also, the later you brake, the hotter the tyres are. Now these tyres, they go cold quickly, don't they? Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. But they also heat up very quickly. So if you're latish on the brakes and having to brake a lot and a lot harder, going down to a lower gear and then a lot of steering, you'll put a lot of heat through the tyres, and then it will start struggling, even if the tyre temperatures come down. Okay, the other thing that I wanted to mention was about making it 3 wide. Do you have any idea what I might be wanting to mention there?
Sorry, what?
About making it 3 wide. Do you have any idea what I might want to mention about that?
Would it be beneficial to make it 3 wide or not?
Well,
is that the road you're going down, or
no.
is there something else?
No, it's a reminder of a rule.
Which... you go the third person into the scene, and then you got to make sure you don't cause any fucking damage.
Absolutely. If you're last on the scene to make it 3 wide or 4 wide, it is on you to make sure you do not make contact with any other car. Because making it 3 wide or 4 wide is a massive risk. So if you're last on the scene, you've got to be prepared to do everything you can to make sure there's no contact. And there was one other thing, but I can't remember what it was.
Yeah. So we've done the braking, we've done the 3 wide. There's either SRI's penalty or your batter.
It was no, it was Demon R's penalty. Yeah, so we saw earlier, yeah, because I wasn't looking at the time. I was looking at my shoelaces being stuck in my on my chair, and I'm not in a wheelchair. It's normal wheels on an office chair, thank you. Although actually, if I had an electric wheelchair in my apartment, that'd be brilliant. Just ride around going, I want to break free. I'm so gonna get us banned. Okay. At the time, you said it looked like there was enough space given. If it was the case, though, that Demon R got a penalty, if Critical hadn't left enough space and Demon R had to take more of the corner and got a penalty for it, then maybe there would be a sort of an argument there for, okay, when Demon R serves that penalty, Critical should wait. Genuinely, I didn't see it on during the race. I haven't looked at it either, so I don't know if that is the situation. I don't know if Critical left play. I mean, it may be a case of Critical did leave plenty of space, and Demon R took too much corner. Because if you think about it, we saw it last week, didn't we? When Demon R and Steve F1 in the first few laps, Demon R went up the inside in the chicane up the hill. Steve F1 gave him plenty of room. Demon R took more curb than he should have done, making sure he gives room, and spun. Now that's not Steve F1's fault, because Steve F1 gave the space. So yeah, without having seen it, it'd be difficult to say. But also, I mean, I'm trying to think if we've had a situation similar to that before, like where, I mean, I don't know. Well, I don't know what your thoughts would be on it. But by the way, what I will say is, just for clarity's sake, there has been a report placed by SRI, and the stewarding has already been done on that, decided, done, while we're doing this commentary. So I'm leading Ray into a conversation here that he's perhaps not aware if he can talk about, but the stewarding's already been decided and done, so you can speak about it openly and freely, Ray, if you wish, or you can say, I'll just leave it to the stewards.
What about from my point of view?
Did SR, on the Demon R and Critical one.
It did look like there was enough space on the video, but with SGP and SRI, it looked like there was enough space on the camera angle we have as commentators. It looked like enough space, but then when you go down and look at it, sometimes it's not as the angle perception change, and you see different things. So yeah, so if Critical hasn't left enough room and Demon R's had to cut to stop contact happening, then that'd be, I would say, on Critical's fault. But if there was enough space in Demon R's, then it's all on Demon R. But then I think there was radio transmission of that. Demon R got an extra penalty and said to Critical not to it. If I remember.
No,
correctly.
that was the one with Bob. To be honest, the one with Critical, I didn't even know at the time exactly what it was for. I had an idea, but I didn't consider the fact that I'd been not been left enough space or anything. Like I said, I've not looked at it. So yeah,
I did look at mine, and
I put a report.
And there was a difference in the different camera angles, cause you are up high and facing towards, facing, it is towards the corner, but not towards the apex, so you're coming in from the apex side. It looks as if the cars have got enough room there. But once you change camera view, to me, I feel it was different, and But,
I'll touch on something on that in a moment. But just to clarify, we saw the moment where Bob had an offer to Ascari, and Demon R took evasive. So Bob did wait for Demon R. That conversation was like Demon R had said, "It's okay. Go, I've got a penalty and it's nothing to do with you." Bob still waited though until Demon R had gone past him, and as he was serving his penalty, he went on. And I mean, with that one, if I've got time, it would be, I think it'd be an interesting one to to G-Spot, because heading up towards the Ascari chicane, and I'm going to go into it was me. I could see Bob, and I could see where he was. So before I've even got to the first part of the Ascari chicanes, I know Bob's in a dangerous position. Right now, because I can see him from so far away, and I'd kind of expect this from a lot of drivers. They may not realise that I would expect this, but that's why I'm mentioning it. So I can see Bob from a long way off. And Bob's car is sideways on to me, right, from a long way off. So I can see Bob. Bob can't see me. Bob's trying to get back to the track while trying to see if there's any cars around. Bob can't see any cars. By the time his car is able to get some grip and get back on the track, I've come through the chicanes. Now, yes, Bob has ended up in sort of bang on the racing line. And could it be an unsafe return to track? Quite possibly. But in that situation, that's one where I know me personally, the reason why I said to Bob, it's okay, don't wait for me, keep going, wasn't just because I had a penalty. It was also because I knew I'd seen him from so far away, I could have done so much more to avoid him. But I went through there just as fast as I would on a normal lap. So although Bob put his car in a not the best position, he couldn't really do much in that situation, and I could have done so much more. So yeah.
So you should have had a penalty for causing
a collision, yeah, for crashing into Bob. Yeah. Yeah. No, fuck that. Bob's fault. All for Bob's fault. But yeah. Okay, there was right. So to go back to the critical DMR, where DMR got a penalty, and SRI and SGP. For anyone that doesn't know, the penalty for SRI was from the first chicane. Now, in the DGT, we have the rules of, for the track limits, you can use the curbs, and if there's a sausage curb, you can straddle the sausage curb. So, for example, Red Bull Ring Turn 1 on the exit is a sausage curb. If you're straddling that, you're okay, because you've still got a couple of wheels on the curb, right? It's just to make things easier for us. However, if straddling a curb, the game gives you a penalty, the penalty will stand, and you should not straddle that curb. Which brings in Monza Turn 1. Now, I normally, I would try and straddle that sausage curb a bit, if not as much as I can. However, I am aware now that if you do straddle it, like fully sausage curb in the middle of the car, you're going to get a penalty there. And it's a bit of a ball ache, but given the DGT rules, in that situation, it's not the game's fault, it's the driver's fault for being too far off the track in that particular corner. And that's one of those where if people get to practice, Ray, they'll learn that, won't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, but if you don't get to practice, you might learn it in the few minutes before the race, or perhaps people might tell you, or you'll find out when you go across it the first time. So, although in the DGT rules you can straddle a sausage, if the game gives you a penalty for it, the penalty will stand. Now, the situation that we've had here with SGP and SRI is an interesting one. It'll be interesting to see what the stewards say about it. But here's a question for you, Ray. If it was deemed that SGP didn't leave SRI enough space, should the time be taken back off SRI?
You can't take time back off.
Why not?
Because we don't do it by time anymore. We do it by points to make it easier.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we've got the rules, because it means sitting down, calculating what time and what position and all that shit.
Yep.
So we decided that it was, if you get a penalty, it's points against your championship points.
Absolutely. You clearly have not had lots to drink so far, because you are absolutely correct on a few things today. Well done. Your memory is working well. You need to drink. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, for us to do time alterations, it's an absolute nightmare. It's just one of those things. Had that happened in the first lap of the race, so much happens over the course of a race that you could alter the time and it'd have no effect. So the penalty, or the dealing with the penalty wouldn't really be a penalty. So yeah, right. I think that's about all the housekeeping I've needed to do. Anything for you, Ray? No? Okay. Just a quick reminder for anybody that is interested. If you haven't seen your messages, we are doing a meetup up near Durham, near Middlesbrough, 14th of December overnight. If anybody of the DGT guys is interested in coming along on the trip, not coming, let us know so we can get a room sorted for you. But yeah, so if you want to come along, let us know. Now, before going on this trip, I've had a few medical situations that I've had to get checked over, and one of them was, you know, when you get to 30, you should have your prostate checked. Oh yeah. How old are you?
What?
41. Have you had your prostate checked yet?
No.
No? Right. You need to get down the doctors and have it checked. Okay, you should have it checked at the age of 30, and you should have it checked fairly regularly after that. I've not had mine checked recently, up until recently, because I've been getting rammed up the arse in the DGT league for years. But obviously that's a joke. But no, in all seriousness, you should get your prostate checked, because it's one of those things that prostate cancer, if it's detected early, it can be dealt with. If it's detected too late, there's not a lot they can do. And let's put it this way, if you do end up at the pearly gates and someone says, "Oh, what are you doing here?" your answer shouldn't be, "Oh, I died of ass cancer." But yeah, so I went and to the doctors and had mine checked, and doctors said, "Right, okay, drop your underwear, bend over," and says, okay, Steve, try not to get aroused." I said, "My name's Paul." He said, "I know, I'm Steve." Yeah. Now the rest of it was serious. Get your arse checked, guys. It's where it.
For a finger up the arse.
Hey, actually, have you seen Kevin Carl Pilkington have his checked?
No.
No. Okay, right. I'm going to share that with you in a minute, Ray, once we finish this. For anyone watching this, if you have not seen it, search on YouTube Carl Pilkington prostate examination. It will be the funniest thing you have ever witnessed. Right. Okay, and on that bombshell, I think it's time we end the commentary here, Ray. So thank you. Actually, no. What's the next track?
Oh, sure. Brands Hatch.
Oh yes, Brown, great. And Steve F1's nickname is
Branch Hatch Bobag.
Yeah, because he's very good around there. But I think he may have a few challenges on him this time around. But yeah, interesting track. Could be. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be good for this car, bad for this car. I mean, it can't rain, but the weather could affect it.
Think of that. You know how unpredictable this car can be. Think of that last few corners.
Well, yeah. Well, think about every bloody corner. They're all tricky.
Well, it's mostly after, is it Surtees?
Yeah.
Because they're kind of like third, fourth gear corners. You've got to get the turn in perfect, so you don't go wide at the exit.
Absolutely.
And then for the last corner, there's no curb to save you. It's straight onto the grass.
Yep, absolutely. Excuse me. From the little running I've done around there, definitely on that back side of the track, in those corners, use a higher gear than it recommends. Because at least then, if you do steer too much, all you'll get is a little bit of understeer. You'll be fine. Whereas if you're in the recommended gear, you steer too much, I think the rear end's going to get a bit loose. So give it a try, folks. It's definitely worth it. Okay, right. I'm going to go and show Ray Carl Pilkington getting a finger up his bum. For everybody else, let's check out the confirmed race result and the championship standings. Here we go then, confirmation, Steve F1 taking the victory again and the maximum 20 points. SGP in second place on 17 points, but as you'll see has got a minus 3 point penalty. I'll come on to that in a few moments time. Excuse me. Third place is Demon R with 15 points, and then we've got Critical with his best result for a while. Fourth place, 13 points for him. Then we've got SRI in fifth place, so unfortunate at the end of the race there with that penalty, ended up losing a couple of places. Sixth place Bob with 11 points, and then we've got Ridge Blues in 7th on 10, Nelly in 8th on 9 points, Arpal in 9th on 8 points, and then you'll see Jason there in 10th with a DNS, which did not start. Unfortunately for Jason, he was there before the race and for qualifying. However, his lag was very, very bad on race night. So when we started the race, the lag was bad enough that we actually had to abort the start. And we tried to restart again, but his lag was still too bad. So Jason, although having qualified 4th, wasn't able to take part in the race. Now I mentioned about SGP getting a penalty. It would appear that SRI's penalty came from turn 1 and taking a bit too much curb. However, a report was placed, which I'll go through in more detail on the G-spot when I can get it done, because I'm away this weekend. Sorry folks. But yeah, so in short, SRI and SGP went round turn 1 side by side. But unfortunately, SGP didn't quite leave enough space for SRI, meaning that the line that SRI ended up taking through the corner resulted in him getting a half-second penalty. So now at the time, during the race, no drivers, so SGP, SRI, and even the cars behind them, knew what SRI had got his penalty for. Now, I think if SGP had known at the time that it was because he'd not quite given him enough space, I think he would have waited for him when he served his penalty. However, like I say, even SRI didn't know what he'd got a penalty for. It was only when looked at afterwards that people were aware of what had actually happened. And like I said, I will cover it more in the G-spot. Okay, let's take a look then. Oh, sorry. Yeah, the result of the stewarding was that SGP. The wording is that he's forced another drive off the track, but it's actually he hasn't left the driver enough space in the corner, so it is a minus 3 point penalty. Right, let's see then what that has done to the standings. Steve F1 leading the way then, 2 wins, 40 points. SGP is still in second place on 31 points though instead of 34, so it's a 9 point gap now between the top 2. Demon R in third place, 30 points, 10 points behind Steve F1. We then got SRI in fourth place on 22 points, and he's only 1 ahead of Nelly in fifth, and Critical, who is joint fifth, both on 21 points. Artpal 2 points further away with 7th place and a 6 point gap to Jason in 8th. Bob with his good finish here, 9th place on 11 points. He's 1 ahead of Ridge Blues, who's 1 ahead of Jimmy in 11th place. Gary in 12th, tied with Twilight. Unfortunately for Gary, his disconnection in the first race. Yeah, saw him not get to the end, and as I tried mentioning at the very start of the race, yeah, Twilight, having moved house, hasn't had any internet yet. I think he said he's missing the next race, but he should have internet in after that. So hopefully we will see him at the track after Brands Hatch. Now, for anyone that gets to this part of this video, I'm going to give you a secret little hint, a little trick to Brands Hatch, which is the next race coming up. So it'd be interesting to see if anybody gets this far in the videos and uses what I'm about to tell you to your advantage. Now, for anyone that's been doing a bit of practice around Brands Hatch, you might notice that the car is going a little bit sideways in some of the braking zones, which causes you to lose time, lose grip, wear your tyres, and get a bit all out of shape. Well, here's how to fix it. Lift and coast. if you actually lift and coast every corner around Brands Hatch, the braking will be so much more stable and you won't have to brake as much, and you will then be able to go through the corners considerably faster. Just don't tell Steve F1, he doesn't need the help. But yeah, it's counterintuitive that to go faster you should lift off, but it works. So yeah, lift and coast, then brake. But don't brake late, because that won't help you at all. Right, thanks for watching, listening. You know what to do. Like, subscribe, hit that notifications bell, and if you are interested in any merch, feel free to check out the link in the description to Streamlabs, where we still have merch available. And we can do custom items as well. Right, that's all for this week. Let's get ready for Brands Hatch. Have a good one, everybody, and we'll see you all again soon.